So we had about 10 hours of rain and then 20 degrees and sunny in the late afternoon today. Definitely enough to start the mushrooms. And don't forget, it's 24 hours of daylight in the Yukon, so that's a long afternoon. We just want to bring back a sample, show everybody what we're finding. Some late stage. Okay, we've come down to the big flat here, base of the hill. There are some nice grays starting. So I'm just going to take one of these just to show the guys at camp. See? It's a good sign. We're starting to see larger numbers, so I am going to take that just to show the guys different species there. There's the greenie. Nice. Our camp is just up that far hill, so we're really close, about 150 meters from camp here. And we need to see hundreds of babies, but if they're just starting, we need to give it a couple days. Now here is a very nice green. How perfect these mushrooms are. And they are just solid. There is a slight hollow in them, but a lot less than most other types of morels. There's a mosquito biting my finger. So we're not seeing a lot of mushrooms, but it is nice to see greens and blondes and grays all together. There's a green. There's a blonde. Spreading out a bit here. These are mature ones. And we'll leave the rest. Wow, this is a nice, that's a nice mushroom. This is the biggest blondie we've found yet this season. Nice. So, seen a few more of these late stage fire morels. We weren't out there for too long, and then Alec found a nice little patch of greenies earlier. Look at these. Now, it took a while to get this many mushrooms today, but the quality is excellent. And there seems to be new mushrooms coming up that look like that. Tomorrow we'll go out with a couple buckets and look a little more seriously. Little bouncy balls. Look, there's a perfect example of a greenie. The shape. This drawer is just gorgeous. Is this gonna be on both? We had those out in the sun, but now it's raining, so we're gonna give them a little bit of air before bed. Over here we've got yarrow and spruce tips. dry. Almost dry, about 85%. Okay, so we're going to take our small batch of mushrooms we dried from yesterday and we're going to clean them. I'm going to try to film inside the dryer as we clean them. So here's the earlier flushing types, naturals or conicas, and then here's grays and green. Okay, we're going in. Let's see what happens. Those are clean now. Can't get much cleaner. It's another way of cleaning them, last step. Now those are finished drying when they went in there, so they're very durable at that stage, and that will clean off a good percentage of any soot or ash, and anything else will get knocked out. And then when you rehydrate them, you thoroughly wash them. We harvest the mushrooms carefully. We have holes in our buckets so that debris can escape, and our baskets. Then when we come back here, we weigh them. Any debris gets picked out if it hasn't fallen out yet. And then we put them onto our drying racks. They run in the dryer. Most of the debris is removed at that stage. But then once they're really, really light, we can put them in smaller batches back in and do that final cleaning. That's the most we can really do while we're in the bush here. And the last step is that when you hydrate them, any remaining debris should wash off of them into the water. Meatloaf transfer. But look at it. Well, we enjoyed a nice dinner. Ate this whole meatloaf, shared it with the neighbors. Morel gravy with the brownings from the meatloaf. Absolutely delicious. And then boiled potatoes with that. And it was excellent. And now we're probably gonna just relax and go to bed. And then tomorrow, really give a nice good walk around the burn and just see what's happening. And we're at this stage where we just need to analyze what's going on, and that's all we can do. Get a few mushrooms here and there and hope that there's more coming. If there isn't, then it might be time to pull the plug pretty soon. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Okay, nice and early in the morning here, and we're about to head out. We've got one last lead to check on the mushrooms. We've pretty much walked this entire burn at some point, apart from the green zone. We're staying out of that green zone. It might be our last day picking today in this area for morels this season. We'll go make the most of today and see what we find.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go get some greenies.
Some greens. Green morels.
Big fat greens.
Big morels. He was big? So Alex saw a large bear just through the bush that way just yesterday. So gotta keep an eye out for him. Come through a good section of green there. And we're getting back into the burn. Let's see what we find. There's some nice greens here. These are some very nice morels. There's not very many videos online that show this variety, this species, Morels exuberans, being harvested. I'm really going to take the time to film a lot of that today. Even though it's not a super dense area, I really want to capture this variety on camera because in my opinion it's one of the nicest types. This is perfect. Well, I was hoping to document a really big harvest of this variety this year, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen, unfortunately. But I'll put some photos on the screen right now to show what it looks like in the baskets when you pick a mature crop of greens and blondes, as well as how the greens look when they're dried. And look at them dried now, and they just look great. I'm not getting very many right now, but they're excellent quality, and we'll just get all the big ones in this area. When these are young, they're almost more gray in color than what we call a gray. There's a difference. But as these get older, they lose that gray color. They go more of an olive color. So here's a nice gray, slightly different. It's a big one. That's just a beauty. Oh, there's a little one. Whoops. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Very nice morel. That is so nice. Wow. Beauty, eh? This is a nice sight.
These grays just poking up, all highlighted in the sun. 1 square foot. Most of these are too small. Who's that?
Ooh, that's why I look behind you all the time. Ah, and a cluster of blondies. But you can see when they're blonde like this and their gills are open, these are fairly mature. Look how small they are. So the flush just hasn't had the ideal weather. They've matured small. You can see Alec has his bucket there. So I'm gonna go over another 30 to 50 meters and put my second bucket down and then work around that. So we've got one bucket over there and then far edge over there. So I'm gonna cover around this and I'm basically just gonna do circles and then slowly hop this bucket, leapfrogging that way. I'm gonna move my bucket a little bit further and then just keep repeating that. Just down right here and keep looking. Wow, that's a perfect one. Just shaded in that grass from where I was looking before. That's a huge one. Look at this thing. It's one mushroom. I thought it was two from a distance, but it's one. Ooh, look at the shape. Nice. Green color that starts to come out as they get older. So we just saw another harvester coming into the bush right to the spot we just finished. We got the majority of what was in there that was big enough to pick, but he was polite and he didn't go right towards us. He walked around, went a different direction. So we're not getting very much volume today, but I'm glad we were able to at least show a small harvest of this species of morel, because I know a lot of people have never even heard of or seen this species, Morchella exuberans, and that's because it is a wildfire associated morel, and they don't always come up. In fact, they're the least common variety overall that we'll see on wildfires. Even in northwestern North America, they still often don't show themselves on some fires. Like I've said in the past, when they do really flush, it can be amazing. That's not the case today, but at least you get to see the potential, because when you get into a patch and they're all like that, just massive, crazy looking mushrooms, it's pretty rewarding harvest. But even these smaller ones, it's just such a clean, dense variety, and they dry really, really nicely. Hey, fly away. So we're back at camp and we're just sun drying these to start them off, because it doesn't use any gas. But look at these mushrooms, they're gorgeous. And then we're going to head down the hill behind us and do one last scout and pick. Alec is going to head down that way on the ridge, whereas we're going to go that way. Look, somebody was near our camp. They left their old shirt here right next to our camp. Just had another picker stop by and say that it's too busy for him and he's just trying to dodge people. Everybody's saying that. Might be our last bucket of the season here. Unveiling.
Blondie. That's nice. Holy, look at this, just exploding out of the ash.
You gonna pick that?
Nice.
Well, I don't think we're gonna walk down there again. That's probably our last attempt at that big flat. A lot of mushrooms came off of there, but there was probably 50 different harvesters, or maybe more, have been down there. So it's just been completely picked out. We'll walk up this big hill one last time to our camp and dry the mushrooms we just picked.
Nice, dude.
They were out in the sun and the wind for a bit.
So they've probably been like 15-20% pre-dried. Oh, bouncy balls.
Those other ones in the other floor. You just go for fly.
Yeah. I mean, it's spectacular. And then that was down on the flat. Mostly Conicas and blondes and grays down there, whereas mostly greenies this morning.
Room for Alex's.
Okay, got all of our mushrooms in the flashing room. Check these out. Nice. Greens, mostly grays, and then a mix here. These ones are finished. This is up for the night. We have made the decision that tomorrow we'll be packing up our camp and getting ready for the long drive home. So for our returning viewers, hope you enjoyed this season. I know it wasn't as exciting in terms of the mushroom volume. We will be doing one more episode on our travels home, similar to the beginning of this season. So, you know, it's 3,300 kilometers to get home, and we're gonna go a different highway on our way home. We're gonna take the Cassiar Wilderness Highway, which is the lesser traveled route through northern BC. It's time for me to head to bed. Right now it's nearly midnight. This is what midnight looks like in the Yukon coming up to the solstice. We hope you enjoyed episode 26 of our 2023 Morels season. You can find our other mushroom seasons organized into playlists on our channel. If you enjoyed the video, then give it a like and subscribe to see more. Our online shop is also linked in the description. Thanks for watching.